All right, welcome in everyone to the Deep Dive. We are ready to dive into something that's been buzzing around in tech circles, Wi-Fi 7 versus 5G.
Yeah, it seems like every few years we're promised some new groundbreaking wireless tech that's going to revolutionize everything.
Exactly. So today's mission,
hmm
are we looking at a one-winner-take-all situation? Or will these two technologies find ways to coexist?
That is the million-dollar question. And luckily for us, we've got a really solid article here that breaks down Wi-Fi 7's potential impact and how it might just shake things up in the wireless landscape.
Sounds like we got our work cut out for us. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is Wi-Fi 7 bringing to the table that's got everyone so excited?
Well, one of the biggest headline grabbers with Wi-Fi 7 is the introduction of the 6 gigahertz frequency band.
6 gigahertz. Now, for those of us who aren't, electrical engineers, what's the significance of that?
It's like this. Imagine data traveling over radio waves, and each frequency band is like a highway. Now, Wi-Fi has been using the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands for a long time, right?
Right.
But those roads, those highways, are getting pretty crowded with all the devices we've got now.
Makes sense.
The 6 gigahertz band, well, that's like opening up a brand new superhighway with tons of lanes and very little traffic.
Okay, I like that analogy. Less congestion, much smoother ride.
Exactly. And it means less interference, so data can travel much faster and more efficiently.
So it's like a wider road for data. That's a good way to put it.
Exactly. And on top of that wider road, Wi-Fi 7 doubles the maximum frequency bandwidth from 160 megahertz with Wi-Fi 6 to 320 megahertz.
So even wider lanes on that highway.
Precisely. And that means it can handle way more data simultaneously. Like think streaming 8K video without a hiccup or downloading those massive game files in the blink of an eye.
All right, now we're talking.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's always more.
The article also dives into some more technical stuff like 16 by 16 MIMO and 496 QAM modulation.
You lost me at MIMO.
Haha, no worries. Basically, MIMO, or multiple input and multiple output, is like having multiple trucks on that highway to carry data at the same time. More trucks, more cargo, faster deliveries.
Okay, I'm following. So with 16 by 16, you've got a whole convoy of data trucks.
Exactly. And then you've got 4096 QAM, which is a fancy way of saying they're packing those trucks much more efficiently.
Ah, so it's not just more trucks, but they're loaded up better too.
You got it. And when you combine all these advancements, you get a theoretical maximum data transfer rate of, wait for it, 46 Gbps.
46 gigabits per second. That's nuts. The article mentioned it's nearly 5 times faster than Wi-Fi 6.
Yep, and that puts Wi-Fi 7 right up there with 5G in terms of speed potential.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us to the heart of the matter.
The battle for wireless supremacy.
Exactly. Is Wi-Fi 7 coming for 5G's crown?
Well, the article makes a compelling case for why these two technologies, while both offering incredible speeds, are actually designed for different purposes.
Different purposes. Okay, let's dig into that.
Wi-Fi 7 is all about providing that ultra-fast, ultra-reliable wireless connection within a fixed indoor space.
Right.
Think your home, your office, or even a crowded stadium.
Yeah. And the article specifically mentions WLAN networks in places like shopping malls, airports, theaters, sports stadiums, even factories, right?
Absolutely. And crucially, it's also poised to become a major player in home broadband, offering those crazy fast download speeds without the need for, digging up your yard for fiber optic cables.
So Wi-Fi 7 is the king of creating these localized pockets of hyperconnectivity.
That's a great way to put it. 5G and 6G, on the other hand, they're built for a different beast altogether.
Which is?
Mobile scenarios, seamless connectivity, no matter where you are.
So keeping you online, whether you're streaming a movie on the train or hopping between Zoom calls on a cross-country road trip.
Exactly. The article mentions some pretty amazing future applications for 6G too. Stuff like smart factories, intelligent mines, immersive metaverse experiences, high-speed transportation, even things like connecting airplanes and ships seamlessly. It's about this grand vision of interconnectedness across everything.
Okay, so we've got Wi-Fi 7 focusing on localized hyperspeed and 5G, and eventually 6G tackling broader coverage and mobility. But the article does acknowledge that there's some potential for overlap and even competition, right?
Right. They point out a couple of interesting points. First, as Wi-Fi 7 becomes more widespread, we might see people relying less on mobile data. I mean, if your Wi-Fi at home is blazing fast, why even bother with cellular data for most things?
Makes sense. So that's an indirect impact on 5G adoption.
Exactly. But then there's the more direct conflict brewing over the 6 gigahertz spectrum.
Yes, that 6 gigahertz band that we talked about earlier, which is key for Wi-Fi 7 to unlock its full potential.
And this is where things get a bit geopolitical. You see, many countries, including most of Europe and North America, have opened up the 6 gigahertz band for unlicensed use, paving the way for Wi-Fi 6E and 7. But China has decided to go a different route and allocate that same 6 gigahertz band for 5G and future 6G development.
That's certainly going to create some interesting dynamics in the tech world. It's not just about the tech itself, but also who gets to use which frequencies.
Absolutely. And it highlights a fundamental question. Do we prioritize fixed, localized connectivity or mobile connectivity?
So if I'm a business owner or even just someone trying to figure out what to invest in, how do I know which technology is the right fit for my needs?
The article offers a pretty clear set of guidelines. If you need wide coverage, high speed on the move, seamless handover between cell towers, then 5G or eventually 6G is your best bet.
Makes sense. So think about your smartphone, connected cars, anything that needs to stay connected while roaming.
Exactly. But if your priority is maximum download speed, low latency, and you're primarily operating within a limited space, like an office, a factory floor, or even just your home, then Wi-Fi 7 seems to have the edge.
Okay, so 5G for mobility and broad coverage, Wi-Fi 7 for localized speed and efficiency. Seems pretty straightforward. But then there's that curveball at the end of the article about industrial applications.
Right, and that's where things get even more interesting. You see, the article suggests that in certain industrial environments, private Wi-Fi 7 networks could actually be a viable alternative or even a replacement for private 5G networks.
Wait, hold on. We've been hearing so much about how private 5G is going to revolutionize industries. Is Wi-Fi 7 really capable of competing in that space?
That's what the article seems to be suggesting. In settings like factories or warehouses where you need high speed, low latency, and reliable connectivity, but the area of operation is relatively contained, Wi-Fi 7 could offer a more cost-effective and efficient solution.
So instead of setting up a whole private 5G network, a company could achieve similar results with a souped-up Wi-Fi 7 network.
Potentially, yes, especially if factors like cost and ease of deployment are major considerations.
Wow. So the lines really aren't as clear-cut as they might seem at first glance.
Nope. It's not a simple either situation. These technologies are evolving rapidly, and their applications are going to continue to overlap and even compete in unexpected ways.
So let's bring it all together. We've got Wi-Fi 7, a massive leap forward in wireless technology, offering speeds comparable to 5G, but primarily designed for localized high bandwidth applications. Then we have 5G, focused on broad coverage and mobility, aiming to connect everything and everyone, everywhere.
And while the general consensus is that they'll coexist and serve different needs, there are these emerging areas of overlap, particularly in industrial applications, where the lines start to blur.
It's fascinating to see how these technologies are shaping the future of connectivity. And as the article points out, it's not just about the tech itself, but also the global strategies and regulations surrounding spectrum allocation.
It's a complex and rapidly evolving landscape.
Absolutely. So here's something for all of you listening to think about. Considering all the points we've discussed, where do you see Wi-Fi 7 having the biggest impact? And will it ultimately be a complementary force to 5G, or could it actually disrupt and reshape the wireless landscape as we know it?
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Until next time.